been a week since the Denver Nuggets played a basketball game. It's been a month since they played a game that matters, and it's been 3 years since they played a meaningful playoff game with their full complement of star players.
A shocking upset. They eliminate the heavily favored Clippers.
Tonight, Nikola Jokic steps onto a playoff court alongside Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. for the first time since the bubble back in 2020. Standing in their way are a few familiar faces. Tim Connelly helped build the Denver Nuggets roster over 9 seasons in Denver, drafting Nikola Jokic with the 41st pick back in 2014. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and most of the other players on the Denver Nuggets roster arrived in Denver during Connelly's tenure. Head coach Finch was one of the architects of the Jokic ball offense, serving as the offensive coordinator during the early years of the Jokic era. Shooting guard Austin Rivers helped lead the Nuggets to a playoff win over Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers in 2021, and filled in at shooting guard for the Nuggets throughout the 2022 season. More broadly speaking, for 8 years, the Denver Nuggets have been climbing the NBA hierarchy. Over the course of that journey, a motto emerged that defined their process: we don't skip steps. The patient approach has led them to the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. The road to the finals will go through Denver. Tonight marks the first step in a playoff journey that the team hopes will deliver them their first ever NBA championship. But tonight also marks the final step in a longer process and story arc. For the Denver Nuggets, there's only one last step to take. Beginning tonight, it's step-up time.
Let's go, baby! Turn it up! Turn it up! Step it up. Let's go. I am so ready for this. I don't think I could be more. Maybe I need another month to prepare. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Let's have a month like the last one.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the pregame show. Presented by Fubo. Fubo, that's right, where you can watch all of Denver Nuggets on Altitude Television right here locally, as well as a bunch of other sports stations. Even tonight's game, it's on TNT. Doesn't matter. We still got it on Fubo because it's on Altitude. You're going to watch it along. Guys, we have a great show for you today because interesting day at Ball Arena. Not just because we have game 1. I thought there was an interesting shoot-around. More interesting than usual. We're going to talk about all of that, including a scouting report, a special scouting report, we're told. Karl-Anthony Towns told us.
We'll see tonight. We'll see.
Kyle Anderson told us they have a
see.
special scouting report for game 1. Let's get into that. We're also going to have a visionary. We have a visionary in our midst here.
Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. I'm not going to say who it is.
Please don't.
But it is on the sidebar right there. And then, of course, Dev's going to make us lots of money. Actually, why don't we let Eric? He's the one with the vision. Hold on. Did you have any bet visions for us, Eric?
I'm gonna doze off probably when you're talking.
Okay. All right. See what happens.
One will come to me.
Guys, I got a full squad with me tonight. Harrison Wind is at the arena doing all of the sideline reporting for us over there. But look at this man shining. My guys. You know when you have a fit on, when you're like, okay, this is me. I am myself. That's what Brendan Vogt has today.
Yeah, it's not a Subu day. You know what I mean? It's the playoffs. It's
first
the playoffs.
of all, I saw you twice today.
I actually was wearing I was wearing Subos this morning. Yeah, but it's game time, ladies, fellas, friends all over. Purgatory is behind us. 16 wins away. It starts tonight. I'm glad you're with us. Let's get it.
100%. Over here, I got D-Line Co.
Guys
and girls.
I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back.
Oh my God, who was that we saw this last 6 weeks?
Dude, listen, I explain this all the time. I'm merely a vibes conduit. The vibes are back. I'm back. I'm like the Sparrows of Capistrano. Let's go.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited for these Sparrows. Never seen them before. And then over there on the far end, Superstar Dev.
16, boys. That's all we need is 16 of them big things. Hey, we're finally here. This is what we've been waiting for.
That's right.
It's step-up time.
We've been waiting for it for years, literal years, and I'm telling you, it's like a fever dream right now that we've been waiting so long, and I can't believe that it's actually finally arrived. We have some game notes, though, because it's always interesting who's going to start, at least not on Denver side, but on Minnesota side.
Let's talk a little bit about Denver real quick because it's fun. It's fun to say out loud. Eric, do you know who's on the injury report for Denver today?
Absolutely got Colin Gillespie.
Yeah, sure. No, the injury report is clear, actually. The injury report is clean.
He is available, although he's on a two-way.
So it's the normal starters for the Nuggets. It's the intended playoff rotation for the Nuggets. That just feels good to say. Just wanted to reiterate it. On the mini side of things, still looking for the full starters, but we know this. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the defensive aficionado, the stud over there in mini.
And cousin of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He's going to get the start. So that could make Jamal Murray's life harder. We'll see. But that is a defensive upgrade in the starting lineup for Minnie. Once I get the full starting lineup, I'll let you know. But those are some early notes right off the bat.
So Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I thought it was going to be Taurean Prince. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, that means the defensive matchup most likely, and just the one-to-one matchup, is going to put Anthony Edwards on Karl Anthony Towns. I find that to be kind of interesting. Does that change? I know there's going to be substitutions and everything, but Dev, does that change anything knowing that they're saying, Ant, you're an important offensive piece, we're going to hide you, so to speak, on MPJ?
No, I mean, it doesn't, just because MPJ is going to get his shot off against anybody. It doesn't matter who you put out there to try to slow him down. On the other end of the floor, they're going to do cross matchups and things like that. So I just think that they look at it as, we're going to try to hide you, but they think that it's just so low maintenance, and that's where their game plan is wrong.
Really? Well, it is an interesting thing. I mean, one of the storylines here is they are going to be playing combination. You think Denver might play combinations we've never seen? They have almost exclusively combinations they've never seen, including starting lineups that don't have a lot of reps together, and that has some good and some bad. What else you got?
You meant Anton Porter, right? I do think you said Anton Towns.
I was confused.
Did I say Anton Towns?
You did.
Yeah, we were all confused, but then we just let it happen.
Oh, by the way, we do have those full starters. It's Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Alexander Walker, and then Cat and Gobert. Kyle Anderson coming off the bench tonight. Kyle Anderson, a guy
taller than you think today. I was surprised how tall he was.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because the defensive versatility with Kyle Anderson is off the charts. Michael Malone brought that up today pregame, pointing Kyle Anderson out as someone who will probably guard every one of our players throughout this series at some point. But Denver's had, I guess, an uphill battle a bit in game planning for this game because there are a handful of guys they haven't seen in a Wolves uniform this year. Mike Conley, I don't think they didn't play against Towns, right?
Not at all.
They did not play against
not once.
Towns. So there's a lot for Denver here to unpack in game one. Let's start from the top, though. Jamal Murray is back in the playoffs, and it's been since the bubble, if you fellas can believe it. Michael Malone admitted, it's kind of wild to think that it's been that long. I'm just so happy for him. It hasn't been an easy road. But this is the quote. I think he's just really excited to get back out there, play, and remind everyone what he's capable of.
I love it.
It's Jamal Murray hours, boys, ladies.
Hey, it's what I wore today. I don't put the jersey on very often. How often do you see me in a jersey, boys?
Never. Literally never.
Here it is. I'm telling you, it's now or never, Jamal. Woo! Now or never. Well, I guess it could be game two.
Maybe next year, too.
I would prefer right now, tonight.
Let's go.
We talked about it all week, the Nuggets relaying that it was a great week of practice for them. The intensity were there, the vibes were there, Malone was pleased. And listen, if Malone can get away with telling you one practice was suboptimal, he will, but he didn't. He was really pleased. So there was a question about that carryover and the intensity. And classic Malone, as far as the intensity, he said, if you're not ready to play a team in the playoffs, then we shouldn't be here. But we had a great week of practice. And when the jump ball goes up, we'll see if there's carryover. I expect there to be. I think our guys were tremendous all week long. And tonight, I expect nothing different.
There you go. I have one piece of info. So I did shoot around today, and something interesting happened. In the morning, we get a text that Tim Connelly's going to do a press conference. Of course, former GM of the Denver Nuggets. He's going to do a presser, and it's going to be 20-ish minutes before the Nuggets do theirs, which is normal. That's normal that shoot-arounds will happen roughly at the same time, and they usually stagger them. Presser goes a little bit late, hangs out a little bit late, and all media, of course, wants to hear from Tim Connelly. He hasn't spoke. He only, it's like, how often does Calvin Booth speak? Not very often. Tim Connelly, same thing. And him coming back to Denver, this or that. Everybody missed Nuggets availability. Literally 0 people attended Nuggets' shoot-around media availability because they ended up being at the same time. And I only share this detail to say a little frustration a little bit from the Nuggets today of like, we had a presser too, and theirs was at the same time. What's going on here? Just not trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, but it is one of those things where I was just like, tension at Ball Arena today.
Listen,
would you agree?
Yeah, and Tim Connelly's presence in Minnesota, but also particularly in Ball Arena, it's going to be a storyline tonight and this whole series. Here's a pregame note from the other locker room. Chris Finch apparently mentioned all the Jokic knowledge the T-Wolves have. He was asked particularly how Tim Connelly was helpful to the scout. Chris Finch called him, quote, very, very helpful. unquote.
All right, let's get on to segment 2. Kale, I've got 2 videos that come from Shoot Around here. And turn the volume up so we can hear it in here. Here's what the Timberwolves had to say about their scout from Tim Connelly.
Mike Connelly, Chris Finch, Tim Connelly all have a lot of familiarity, more than most people. Has that been a factor at all over the last 2 days? Those guys talking to you about, hey, here's some tendencies?
I mean, we'll see. I guess we'll see, huh? But they've came up with a great scouting report, and Finchy and his staff have done a great job of preparing us, and we trust Micah's word as well. He's been great all season, so we trust those guys, and we got to follow the game plan.
Tim Connelly, Mike Connelly, Chris Finch, they all have a lot of familiarity with this team. In what ways
Austin Rivers.
Austin Rivers as well. In what way has the scouting reports been different from a typical one because of that familiarity?
A lot of firsthand experience, so it helps us tremendously. So, you'll see tonight, it helps us a lot.
So I want to start with you. Both guys emphatic that there were a lot of details out of the ordinary. And I started thinking about what does that mean? And I thought one of them is personality scout.
Yeah.
Like Jokic does, there are certain things that really bother him that maybe throw him off his game. And Tim Connelly, who I think of all of his guys, I know a lot of people just look at picks. He picked this guy, he picked that guy, good, bad, whatever, and that's how you evaluate it. Tim Connelly, I think, has a very high emotional IQ. I think he is the exact type of guy who knows people's ticks, knows people's things that get under their skin. That was the first thing I thought of. But how much do you feel the Tim Connelly scout, but also the Austin Rivers, the Chris Finch, how much do you think that institutional knowledge really matters?
Oh, man, it's tough to say. I mean, there is something about, like, he hates when you do this. He doesn't. I mean, I'd like to think at this point none of that stuff actually matters, but I don't know. I mean, Nikola Jokic has proven that he can be shaken if in just the right circumstances. But I mean, I honestly, come on, like, you know what I mean?
Not much, huh?
I don't think so. I mean, we're out of chill mode, man. Like, we're locked in. I don't think it'll matter that much because at the end of the day, like, Nikola Jokic specifically has the ability to sort of be on or off emotionally at his discretion. He has the ability to shut off all of the noise if he wants to and completely shut down, or go and get completely hyped up. So I don't know. I don't think it matters that much, but I suppose we'll
chomping
see.
at the bit here.
I think this notion of game planning against Jokic is antiquated.
Oh, yeah.
You have to try. They have a scouting report, I am sure. Jokic is going to play alongside Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., KCP, and Aaron Gordon. It is no longer as simple as whatever the adjustments we saw over the last 2 years. There are things you will try. There are certain mental angles you will take, like maybe we want to frustrate him, try to foul, see if you can get away with it. But you can know everything you need to know about stopping Jokic. Stopping him is another matter entirely. This is, and I say this with respect because you guys know I'm fans of these guys. This is not Austin Rivers, this is not Facu Campazzo, and this is Jokic 3 years later. So I'm sure they feel good about their scouting report. I would feel better about having Jokic than having a scouting report.
Well, thank you. That's a low bar to clear, though. Dev, does Tim Connelly scout? Does this help at all? And not just him. Austin Rivers is on the team. They know at least the play calls and stuff like that, terminology.
I was just sitting there thinking about, when people are like, they're taller than what you expect and you get closer and they get taller. Kyle Anderson, much more, less attractive the closer he got. That was a crazy
He's like
camera.
like a Monet.
What's happening here?
He was like working out.
That was wild. And it looked like he was holding the camera. Like, sorry, that really did throw me off.
Wow.
As far as the Tim Connelly thing, first off, Austin Rivers, he shouldn't have been playing in that series anyway. There is no game plan. Like, that's a completely different team than what they have right now. Everybody has a game plan. Everybody has an idea of how they're going to slow down the Nuggets and also Nikola Jokic. It does not work. It's not easy. So you could say all these things. You could have different attempts. You could have a mindset that you're supposed to have in the playoffs of, yeah, this is what we're going to do. But until you're in front of it, until you're actually facing it, it's not, as easy as you think it is. And also, what happens when the game plan doesn't work?
Well, I mean, there's obviously that part, too. This is why I think game one is so important of, there is a confidence to that Timberwolves team that I think goes away with every game you win. Meaning you win game 1, they're less confident in game 2. You win game 2, and all of a sudden I think they're on an edge, ready to fight Rudy Gobert again, which right now they're not like in that zone. But I disagree with all of you guys in that I think it matters. No, it's not a lot. These are just margins. But I do think it matters in this one way. One, play calls and terminology. I do think the team will be a little bit more locked into what team is trying to do. I'm sure Denver's tried to adjust in that way. But there are ticks with Yoke, and I always think back to the bubble. Yoke always, when you put your arm across to try, he always would grab it and get a foul out of it because he would accentuate your little foul into a bigger foul.
Yeah.
But I think that teams that know Yoke well enough can maybe use little things like that against him to try to draw the foul on Yoke.
Sure.
And I just think Tim Connelly is a guy that probably knows those things. So, again, I would look for little things designed at really frustrating Jokic and flustering him. Not that they are things that will shut him down, but maybe things that are like, you know what? This is a guy that knows him better than anyone else on earth, and he just knows, like a little brother that just knows how to piss you off.
Like if we see Anthony Edwards kneeling or hands next to him at the free throw line going like, I heard you from Serbia. Sounds whack.
Sounds whack out there, man. Really?
I also think, now you're not just saying scheme, right? You're saying some of the smaller stuff too, which is interesting. And I think
the basketball stuff is over.
That just stuff doesn't matter. But I just, whatever it is, maybe a game or two, but Jokic adjusts, man. Playoff Jokic, I think it's a little more in the moment and immediate to say he's a computer. I think it's almost more intuitive and savant-like. But he's seeing it, he's understanding, he's adjusting. So I just think there are things, whatever works in game 1, if it's enough, I don't think it'll work in game 2. But we'll see.
You don't think, like, Eric, could you piss me off more than the average person just from your institutional knowledge?
Easily.
This is my point.
Easily.
You know, if you're like, hey, you really want to get it out of him.
Russell guy, just get him out of here.
Here's the thing that
Russell Martin, block
this stuff, man.
No, it's my call, but block his ass. For playoffs, I don't need this.
All right. But there's also another factor to this series, and that is that our own D-line co himself had a vision a week ago, before the play-in even began, that we would be here. Now, everybody knows Eric had a vision we would play the Timberwolves, but what they don't know is that there was a little bit more to that vision that he did not openly share.
Well, guys, listen, it turns out most times when I have these premonitions, they're usually more troublesome than they are good. I have these, like I woke up in the middle of the night, first famously, at least for me, in my own mind, my first famous vision that was widely disregarded was that the Suns were going to trade for Kevin Durant. I woke up in the middle of the night, I felt in a cold sweat. I was like, oh my God. Same thing with this. I don't know. I had this vision like, oh my God, we're going to play the Timberwolves. Like, it's going to be difficult. Like, I was troubled by this vision that we were going to have difficulty with the two bigs. I don't know what to make of it. I've moved on past it. My rational brain has taken over, but I will say my vision was not a purely happy one.
This is like a Game of Thrones-esque thing where it's not necessarily damning, but it is like, oh no, I saw John. He was north of the wall.
I mean,
and there were people around him.
Listen,
doesn't mean he dies.
Right, like maybe they need to be trailing at some point,
exactly.
but
like,
it's unnerving.
I'm not putting anything out. I put nothing out. I simply receive and put back forth.
Well, Kevin Durant is on the Suns.
I just knew we were going to play the Timberwolves. I don't know how I knew
the bigs would be, a challenge.
They would be a challenge.
All right. Well, what do we make of this? Dev, what do you make of this vision of Eric's?
I mean, I don't know how often he has these type of visions.
Never before.
I'm pretty worried, now that he's dreaming about these type of
also,
things.
are you okay?
So often.
No.
But I think that he's aligned with the rest of the world. It's going to be tough to go against two centers, especially when your best player is a center. So I think that comes into fruition there.
Can we make fun of you? If the Nuggets win by 20, do we get to make fun of your vision?
No, because my vision was that we were going to play the Timberwolves.
It could be the whole series.
There was a second part to the vision. We just discussed it.
But it wasn't definitive. It wasn't
the playing the Timberwolves.
Definitive. Yes.
But the sense you had, the feeling could have just been anxiety, like personal anxiety.
I believe that's what it is. So I received the information from the universe, and then I put my own personal spin on it, which is to be nervous about it.
I love it. You know what? There you go. There you have it. The hard-hitting analysis you can only get from DNVR.
I know. Listen, it's dumb as hell, but it was right. So what am I supposed to say?
Well, I haven't had any visions, to be honest with you.
I've never had any visions.
Had a vision. I don't even have dreams that often anymore. Guys, we're here. We're almost slap happy for it, but I'll be honest. As time has gone on, I have grown more confident in the Nuggets. Like, honestly, like every single day over the last, week and a half, I've just been growing in confidence with the Nuggets, and part of this is you watch some of these teams playing, you know, that maybe limped into the playoffs or this or that, and you're like, oh, that's right. Everybody just elevates when it gets to the playoffs. And the games we've seen late last night and today have been fantastic in terms of intensity. And that's what I'm so excited for. Ball Arena is going to be lit. Woo! The Nuggets, I think, are going to be playing harder than we've seen at any point this year, and I'm just so excited to see what exactly that looks like. I'm also excited to make some bets, and I always follow my guy Dev's advice on bets. Let's open up DraftKings Sportsbook, by the way. That's the app we're going to use
America's
to make our
top-rated
bets.
sportsbook.
Well, you guys are in for a treat. 'Cause I got some bets for you guys.
You better not give us in these playoffs any opposing bets. Keep those to yourself. Dev, I'm looking at you, man.
He's
Don't
like,
mess with
Anthony
me.
Edwards over. Lock of the day.
My God, I can't believe it.
See, now it just got real tough, so I'm going to do what I do here, and that's make us some money.
All right, make us some money.
Denver comes into this game as 8-point favorites. 8.
That grew, by the way. 7.5 moved up to 8.
All these people are choosing, Minnesota in this, which makes it just super I'm shocked. I'm shocked at how many, people are saying that Minnesota is going to win this series. I personally have Nuggets in 6. I can see it going only 5 games.
Okay.
I think this is a win for them. I'm not going to go with the 8. I would like to just see how it looks in the game.
Okay.
Over under of 224. I think there will be fireworks. I do. I'm going to go over 224.5.
All right. I'm right here for fireworks.
Everybody loves fireworks. As far as the Minnesota side of things, a bet that is just standing out to me, I think it'll clear very fast, is Taurean Prince, 8.5 points. He's going to be in that second unit. He's going to be the guy that I think that you don't see often in that second unit or think about often. I think he knocks down a couple of three-pointers. I think I'm going to go over 8.5 for him. Over 8.5.
Forgive me if I don't take that.
Yeah, if you bet on Taurean Prince 8.5,
That's like
you are like
That's okay. Also,
Taurean Prince. I'm calling Taurean Prince. You guys.
Couldn't wait to throw that in the show.
over Karl Anthony Towns points.
Wow,
Points.
there's
22.5. I think that they're going to do a lot of staggering with that second unit.
That's actually a good bet. Don't take it, but that's a good bet.
That's when he's going to make his move. That's when he's going to make his push. 22.5.
Huge battleground.
Too low for him. So I'm going to go there. Well, let's go on Denver side of things. This is what you guys came here for. This is what you guys came here
Yeah,
for.
wait, you didn't
I had a
start that
vision
yet?
of Dev doing this, giving us dumb
I was
bets
troubled
first.
by it as well.
Let's go straight over to the three-pointers. This
Okay.
is going to be a three-pointer. It's going to be raining threes.
Yeah.
A guy that I really like to knock down at least 2 threes, which is going to be plus money, KCP.
Wow.
Over 1.5 threes.
Man, I like that bet, Dev.
It's plus 120. He's
Man,
going
I'm
to
gonna
hit
put a
at
double
least 2
unit on it.
threes in that. I love it. I really think that
I
it
do
stands
too.
out. They have everybody's pretty low. They have Jamal Murray, 2.5. It's it's a lot of juice on it, but he's going to hit at least 3. We're going to put that in the same game parlay.
Love it. Love it.
We got to go with our king, Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
Points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going to go over. It's at 46.5. The thing that I love about Jokic in this, especially with his points, they have 2 guys that think that they can guard him on one-on-one. They're also very prideful in their one-on-one defense. Jokic doesn't see many one-on-one opportunities. He's going to eat early. I think he's going to be super aggressive. Do they have the first quarter points for Jokic? If they have that, I think that that's when I go after as well. Everybody believes that he's going to go into this a bit passive. I don't think that we get a passive Jokic in this. I think that he gets very aggressive
better
just
not,
to prove
man.
a point.
We better not.
So I like the
Passive
Jokic
Jokic
points,
in a game of
and I
the
like
playoffs.
points, rebounds, and assists.
So hold on. He has first quarter 7.5 points.
Over.
Okay.
Over.
All right. You tell me I do it, Dev.
So for just a fun bet that I really do think hits as well, Aaron Gordon, they have the steals plus the block. It's at 1.5. I think he gets that. I think he clears that pretty easily.
Wait, I have it. Oh, steals and blocks.
Yep. The
1.5?
1.5. I like it.
I know, I
And
just
for
take what
my
you tell
lock,
me.
the lock of the game is going to be Jamal Murray.
Let's go.
points.
Let's
Oh,
go.
he is going to eat in this game. 21.5, way too low for him. I think that he gets hot. I think he is chomping at the bit to just, be back in the playoffs. This is a big opportunity for him to prove I'm one of those guys. I am in the same, category and conversation as, Shea, Devin Booker, Carl Anthony, these other guys. So I think that this is going to be one for him to just go crazy in. I'm going to go over Jamal Murray's points.
All right, I like it, man. These are good bets other than those first few. Do you want a same game parlay?
Yeah, same game parlay. I'm feeling a little under the weather as well. I feel like it's also going to be raining threes. I like this assessment. I think that the defense is going to collapse on Jokic quite a bit, and there's going to be a lot of wide open threes, much in the same way that Philadelphia was able to take down whoever the hell they played. Brooklyn. Just a million three-pointers wide open. So I'm going 3+ for Michael Porter Jr. I'm going 3+ for Jamal Murray.
Wow.
I'm going to just go 1 for KCP. 2 for KCP. And then I like a KCP steal. He gets a steal every goddamn game. Like let's ride with that. If you have those 4 legs together, that'll net you plus 650.
That's a lot of plus.
That's a lot of plus. I feel good about it. I'm going for it.
Just sprinkling a little on that
You guys
one.
want to hit these super chats here before we get out?
Let's get some super chats. People super chatting in the pregame. That's how you know the
Let's
vibes are up.
go.
Drunk philosophy. Oh, you go for it.
Drunk philosophy. Shall we kick this off? Let me hear the horns.
That's just proof you can get us to do anything you want for $2.
Drunk philosophy's first chat tonight was about his drink in all caps with 3 typos.
Let's go.
Preston Evans, Nuggets playoffs. What a treat
What
with
a
the
treat.
fellas.
What the fellas.
What a treat.
What a treat. What a treat. Big name K, Big Namek. Jokic now has all of his running mates dread it, run from it. Destiny will arrive all the same.
I love it.
Let's go.
We've been waiting for this, man.
So
Holy,
long.
this is 3 years in the making.
Yes, sir.
First of all, that Clippers-Suns game looking like everything we hoped it would be. I'm so excited. So much happening. Dreamweaver 10, so excited to start the crazy playoff night of 8:30 starts and 12 a.m. finishes. B-ball and hockey are about to be lit at Ball Arena, and more importantly, the DNVR bar.
Hell yeah.
Big Namek finishing it off. Let's be relentless, elevate, and bring it in. LFG.
Hit 'em all, baby.
Bring it in, boys.
Let's go.
Bring it in, fellas. Bring it in.
Let's
Kale,
go.
hit that outro music. In all sincerity, guys, the upcoming stretch of basketball is going to bring us to the ultimate highs and the lowest of lows. It's just the way that it goes in the playoffs. I've been thinking a lot about this over the last month. The nice thing is we've had a month to think about all of these things, but I've had a lot to just kind of sit here and think. I'm excited for whatever it is that is ahead, the good and the bad. We've cultivated this show, we've cultivated this community, and we've cultivated this way of watching it. And I am excited. As Eric said, man, 3 years.
Yes.
3 years of our lives.
Yes.
We have been waiting for this moment, and it's finally here. And I'm just excited to share it with you fellas right here.
And all
I'm
of
What
you.
a treat.
excited to share it with all of you guys. Get hyped. Throw that like button for us.
We're in it together, baby.
And tune in to the watch along, which we're going to be starting here momentarily.
We're with
Bring
you
it
all night.
in.
We'll see you guys shortly.
Let's go.